Thank you, sir. Mr. Colson.
Thank you. First, I want to thank you all for putting this forum on. It's been great. Been able to have some good educated discussion. I think that's great to be able to inform the voters. I would like to take a little bit of my closing statement to speak to what Mr. Hartman said about we could have passed the budget in 3 days if we had leadership in Charleston, and I agree with that. If we had leadership in the executive branch, the bottom line is the Democrats got really mad that we had a switch in the legislature, and the Republicans pushed some different things through. I think they've made positive strides for the state of West Virginia and positive strides for business and for businesses in West Virginia to be able to attract businesses to West Virginia. So my understanding is that there were a couple days left in the legislature and a budget was presented, and there was no way that it was going to be able to be passed. So that's why they had to do the special session that they did. However, with the current leadership in the House and the Senate, we were able to have a 17% savings, and that's based on a report that was just released from the Legislative Audit Office. So I just wanted to mention that. The other thing is as I've said throughout the evening, I am the candidate of the people. I know Mr. Moore has spoken several times about being a blue-collar worker. I've done blue-collar jobs as well. I've worked retail. One summer I worked at a radio or a television station, rebuilt the transmitter. Our transmitter, a piece of equipment in the tube blew up, and we had to rebuild the entire transmitter. We were off the air until we got our transmitter back up and running. I was part of that. That's something that I take great pride in because I've done a little bit of everything when it comes to the types of jobs and the types of things that I've done. I have been very fortunate that I was able to choose a path for going to. I went to West Virginia Wesleyan College. I have a degree in public relations and political science. Was able to further my education while working, retail and other areas to be able to get a master's degree in cybersecurity policy as well as a business administration degree. So I take education very seriously, and I take education very seriously for myself. I take education very seriously for the citizens of Pocahontas and Randolph counties. West Virginia is struggling when it comes to education, and first off, we need to start with paying our teachers more. We need to keep the excellent teachers that we have in the state, and the only way we can do that is by making sure that they're compensated well. The other thing, we need to give students opportunities for technical education. We've sat here and we've talked about several different opportunities for technical jobs. If we start technology education and technical education at lower grades, I think that would be give them the opportunity. So I ask for your support on November 8th. Thank you.
And Mr. Moore.
All right, thank you. I want to thank Allegheny Mountain Radio for having me back again. I want to thank, I forgot your name already, sorry. Suzette. I want to thank Suzette for being here from the Pocahontas County Times. Also, I just want the citizens here in Pocahontas and Randolph County to know that there are 5 gentlemen sitting here at this table. We all sat out in the foyer before we done this, and we had civil conversations. Every one of us are in this to make the state of West Virginia a better place for everybody. And I do believe that everyone would agree with that sitting here, and I see several nods. So it's not like that we're wanting to hurt one another or fight against one another. We just have different views on how to fix things and how we would like to see things get fixed. Now, to go back to my blue-collar roots, I'm very proud of my blue-collar roots. I grew up on a farm and did a lot of farm work from a small child all the way up until high school. And then I decided to go into the working world. Like many citizens that are out there this evening, I didn't have that opportunity to go to college until I saved the money up, just like Mr. Eisner done himself and Mr. Colson did as well. I had to save money to go to college. Then I found out that college was not for me. So I decided to go back into the working world. And one thing that I would have to say is that we definitely have to get more hands-on technologies here and hands-on training, get back to the roots of that, where the citizens can go and get training on building the furniture that Mr. Eisner was talking about by bringing in the manufacturing jobs. there is several acres, and I would say millions of acres actually, of beautiful hardwood here that where we could make beautiful furniture and sell it. And the different ideas that we had about the broadband and education and those things. The broadband would be very, very vital to this area, just like Mr. Eisner had stated. You get that small business going, but how are you going to get it to go elsewhere unless you have that internet capability to broadcast yourself to the world? But most of all, there was a comment made about the special interest groups, and I do thank Mr. Eisner and Mr. Colson for explaining their rating from the NRA. But the West Virginians for Life, the West Virginia Citizen Defense League, the NRA, Family Policy Council of West Virginia, and the West Virginia Farm Bureau has endorsed me for this election. And I'm very proud of those endorsements because that's who I am. I'm down to the farming. I'm with the family policy. I agree with everything on that. I am NRA, and I am pro-life. So I'm very proud of those endorsements, and on November 8th, I'll be very, very happy to get your support.